Yeah, so I am Brian Sachetta, owner and author of Get Out of Your Head, which is a brand and book series that seeks to help folks overcome anxiety and depression. Happy to jump into more of that background as well as some of my teachings, but just excited to be here. So,
Fantastic. Well, with regards to your background, I think what is really interesting that our viewers would love to know is you didn't start out in this particular profession, in this particular space. Can you talk to us about that transition, where you were before and how you got into this space?
for sure. So, I have been a software developer for 11-ish years since I graduated college. And I would say up until maybe 7 years ago, I was purely doing the software development stuff, nothing related to mental health. And, most of that was because I was dealing with my own demons and kind of still stuck in them, right? And not that I don't have my bad days nowadays, right? It's like every once in a while, anxiety rears its ugly head and depression does the same thing. But it's, today, right? I feel as though I have more management of those things. And that's kind of why I wrote my books. But anyways, back then, let's say 10 years ago, it was like, I was kind of just in the weeds with both of these afflictions, trying to figure out, okay, how do I work my way past them? How do I figure out how to manage them and live with them and that sort of thing? So somewhere around, I guess I would say 2015, 2016, so 8, 7 years ago, started thinking about like, okay, I've started to make some progress with my own anxiety and my own depression. And I don't know, it wasn't like I was necessarily looking for an opportunity. I wasn't sitting there being like, what can I do with this information? But I knew that I had a lot of information. I had taken a ton of notes. I had, read a ton of books. I had listened to, or I, read a bunch of journal articles, gone to therapy, tried out a lot of different things in my own life. So, for example, if I read a blog article and it said, hey, try this if you're feeling anxious, like I would stack up all those strategies and try them out. And I would take them to different situations where I was feeling anxious. And over the course of time, right, I would say, okay, I went to X number of anxiety provoking scenarios and I tried out all these different tactics that I had gathered. And over that course of time, right, I had been like, these ones work for me, these ones don't. And so eventually I came up with just all these notes and all these findings and learnings. And because the mental health stuff was such an important and big part of my life, like something I really struggled with, right? It just felt kind of natural. It was such an important thing to me where I looked at the content that I had and I said to myself, like, I don't really see any other path forward here than wanting to give back and wanting to share this knowledge with others in hopes of making their journeys a little bit easier. So long and short, that's what started the Get Out of Your Head brand. First step in that journey was, or I guess like first piece of content there was really putting out the first book. So that's Get Out of Your Head, a toolkit for living with and overcoming anxiety. And then along the way, a book about depression, some blogs, some podcast appearances and whatnot. I still do the software development full time because I got to pay the bills until I sell some more books, but, managing both of those professions, if you will, and yeah, just trying to infuse as much meaning, purpose, and sort of like the ability to give back and contribute into the work as I can.